research on the assessing the influence of AI on creativity in writing skill among teenage ESL learners, a teacher's perspective in the Sri Lankan context. With the AI becoming an integral part of education, language learners are increasingly relying on AI-powered tools to assist with the grammar, structure, and also the content generation. With these tools have clear benefits, they also raise an important question. Does heavy dependence on AI negatively affect creativity and critical thinking, which are two essential components of effective writing? So the existing research highlights only about the AI's advantages in language learning, particularly in improving grammatical accuracy and organization. However, few studies explore the potential drawbacks, especially in Sri Lanka, where teenage ESL learners are among the most active users of AI writing tools. So this study seeks to fill that gap by examining teachers' insight into how AI affects students' creative writing abilities. So over the next few minutes, I will walk you through the background of this study, research problem, research questions, objectives, a concise literature review, research methodology, results and discussion, implication for recommendation and conclusion. Now let's begin by exploring the background of this study. Artificial intelligence, AI, is transforming the way languages are learned and taught. According to Jackson 2024 and Anderson et al. 1995, AI tools provide immediate feedback, improve text structure, and assist with grammar. Teachers are also using AI for lesson planning, task design, and grading, according to Devindi 2024. However, while many studies emphasize on AI's benefits, few focus on its potential downsides. Writing, as according to Yarnmead 2014, argues requires creativity and critical thinking, the skills that may be at risk if students become overly dependent on AI tools. And according to Prathama and Hastuti 2024 and Deshpal and Hamida 2024, also caution about the excessive reliance on AI can lead to a decline in original thought of learners. In Sri Lanka, research primarily focuses on AI's advantages in writing, according to Samarasinghe and Kesangari 2023. They have the limited exploration of its potential negative impacts, especially on the teenage learners. And furthermore, Nagelhood 2024 notes there is a lack of study analyzing AI's influence from teachers' perspectives, even though they are the ones who observe students' writing development firsthand. So this gap in research brings us to the core issue that this study aims to address. So writing is a complex cognitive process that requires advanced skills beyond just grammatical accuracy, according to Fairuz et al. 2024. Since COVID-19 pandemic, AI usage among ESL learners in Sri Lanka has significantly increased. Yet its long-term impact on writing proficiency remains uncertain. Despite this growing dependency on AI, there is very lack of research on how AI affects teenage ESL learners' overall writing skill, particularly in terms of creativity and independent thought. So given that teachers interact with students daily, their perspectives are very crucial in understanding whether AI is fostering or hindering the creativity writing skill among ESL learners. To investigate this issue, my study is guided by 4 key research questions. First one, how do teachers perceive the usage of AI writing tools by the 16 years old ESL learners for their writing tasks? What are the teachers' opinions on the learners' creativity and critical thinking who overly rely on AI for their writing tasks and those who are not? Third, what are the challenges that teachers identify in using AI to elevate creativity and critical thinking of the learners? Lastly, what are the countermeasures that teachers have taken to prevent over-reliance on AI writing in the classroom? So, to address these questions, we can gain deeper insight into teachers' experiences and identify strategies for balancing AI use with fostering creativity. So these questions align directly with the study's objectives, which I will outline now. The first is to examine the language teachers' perspectives on the usage of AI writing tools among 16-year-old language learners, to identify the teachers' convictions on the creativity and critical thinking of the learners who over-rely on AI tools, to identify the challenges that teachers have to face when assessing the writing tasks in the midst of creativity and critical thinking. And last, to identify how teachers handle the over-dependency on AI tools in the classroom. So before we dive into the methodology of this research, let's briefly examine the existing literature and research gap. So, writing is a fundamental aspect of language learning, according to Burden et al. 2006. Beyond technical skills, it requires creativity, which is the ability to generate unique and meaningful ideas, according to Zulea 2011. With AI's increasing integration in education, researchers like Fu et al. 2022 highlight its role in providing writing assistance. However, studies like Xu and Wang 2024 indicate that most research is concentrated in Asia and North America, with a limited focus on Sri Lanka. So, pre-AI era in ESL writing. Before AI, ESL writing instruction relied on teacher feedback, peer collaboration, and self-revision, according to Richards 2002. While AI tools initially supported grammar correction and structural improvements, according to Racer 2001, concerns about dependence on these tools emerged as early as, according to Salbury 1996. Today, AI's role has expanded significantly in the language classroom, raising questions about its impact on originality and creativity of ESL learners in their writing, according to Sharples 2022. So, this gap. Limited studies explore AI's negative impact on creativity in ESL writing. No research specifically investigates Sri Lankan teenage ESL learners and their dependency on AI for writing, and a lack of teacher-centered studies on how AI influences creativity and critical thinking in student writing gives the path for this research. So moving on, to explore this issue, I employed a mixed method approach combining both quantitative and qualitative data collection. So a questionnaire-based survey was distributed to 50 ESL teachers working with teenage ESL learners in a higher educational institution in Colombo. So the participants were selected through a purposive sampling to ensure the relevant experience. So the questionnaire had two sections, quantitative and qualitative. With quantitative, we had multiple choice questions for statistical analysis, and qualitative, we had open-ended questions for the in-depth insights from the teachers. So the quantitative data was analyzed using SPSS software, while qualitative responses were examined through thematic analysis. So this approach provided both broad statistical patterns and detailed perspectives from the ESL teachers. Now let's look at the findings of this research. So let's talk about the demographic profile of this research results. So 76% of the participants were female teachers, and 20% were male teachers, and 4% preferred not to disclose their gender. And 70% of the participants taught for 14 to 17-year-old students, which make their insights particularly relevant to this research, as this research focused on 16-year-old ESL learners. Moving on to the results of the research, 44% of the participants mentioned that the learners often use AI tools in their classroom. And also the participants showed a neutral stance that the AI tools are helping for writing improvement as well. And the responses showed a strong concern about the long-term negative impact on AI on writing skill among these teenage ESL learners as well. Moreover, it showed that AI is making learners less engaged in the writing process and activities in their classrooms. Some, like few response acknowledge that AI have both positive and negative impact on the learner's creativity. According to the research results, 86% of the participants agree that AI harms the creative thinking, and 72% have noticed a decline in originality in learners' content when they evaluate the learners' tasks and assessments. 68% of the participants mentioned that learners rely on AI-generated content without a single change, and they have mentioned that students submit their assessment with the AI-generated content without changing a little bit of any content. Moreover, 88% of the participants stated that AI hinders students from brainstorming and developing ideas themselves independently. And lastly, majority face challenges in assessing learners' assessments due to AI-generated content because the teachers are unable to make sure this content is whether student written or it's AI generated. So, the discussion of this research is that the ESL teachers are recognizing the importance of balancing the use of AI tools to foster creativity in writing skill among teenage ESL learners. Teachers have mentioned that they can't thoroughly or completely ignore AI as AI is the current trend of the world. So they have to balance both AI and the creativity among the ESL learners. Also, teachers are encouraging learners to develop ideas independently and use AI tools for assistance. Most of the respondents mentioned that they are asking the students and encouraging the learners to write their drafts first by themselves and use AI tools to enhance the content. And learners can draft ideas by themselves and use AI for refining language and correct grammar. And also, AI tools should only help to polish the language, not to replace the effort of creating and expressing ideas. That was the main point that most of the respondents have mentioned. And also, learners should be educated on how to use AI tools responsibly. Most of the respondents have mentioned that the teachers should have the knowledge to teach the learners on how to use AI tools responsibly. And the teachers should be trained to guide the learners in using AI tools, and teachers can establish AI-free zones during class time where students can do the task with their creativity. So, the implication for recommendation of this research is that there are two implications for teachers and for institutions. So for teachers, AI literacy training is essential to guide students on ethical AI usage. The teacher should be able to understand and they should have a thorough knowledge of AI tools in order to guide the learners on using AI tools responsibly. Additionally, new assessment methods such as in-class writing and oral justification can be used to evaluate original thought. And for the institution, they can develop formal policies on ethical AI use, including plagiarism checks for AI-generated content. So the schools and the higher educational institution, they can put plagiarism checks where the teachers, before they mark the assessment, they can get an idea whether the content is AI-generated or it is student-written. And lastly, they can implement AI detection tools, as I said, and training programs for teachers to support teachers in monitoring these AI-assisted work. So now let's summarize the key takeaways from this research. So this study highlights the complex relationship between AI and creativity in ESL writing. So while AI offers valuable assistance, excessive reliance sometimes risk diminishing originality and critical thinking of the ESL learners. So the teachers play a very crucial role in striking a balance, leveraging AI benefits as also while ensuring the students that they maintain their independent creativity. So a structured approach to AI generation is necessary to foster confident and original writers in the classroom. So these are the references for the presentation.